Well, welcome, folks. Welcome to the January meeting of our AI and Local Government Network. Excited for today's meeting. We have some really fascinating people we're going to listen to. Today's meeting actually is sponsored by Inquisio and by ClerkMinutes, two wonderful companies out there. I've had the privilege of meeting and talking with both of these individuals, the brains behind these operations. Some great companies that I think you're going to get a lot of value from. If you're interested in sponsoring the next or future meetings, that QR code over in the left corner is your link to that. But I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Josh Penner from Inquisio and Megan from the ClerkMinutes, and of course, Dustin Overbeck as well over there to help set this whole thing up. So thank you to all of them. And thank you to you guys as well, too, for being part of this growing network. It's been a lot of fun, and I've learned quite a bit already just in the past really 3 meetings. I think this is our 3rd meeting so far. Learned quite a bit. We've had some really great turnout at these meetings, some really great and robust discussions at the last one. Hoping that energy continues into this meeting. And to kind of give you an idea, and hopefully you can kind of pat yourselves in the back too for this. So we live stream these meetings onto YouTube, and it's on the Civic AI's YouTube channel. Usually these type of meetings, these kind of webinar meetings, don't get a whole lot of views on YouTube just by the nature of it. You know, listening an hour for people talking isn't the most exciting TV in the world out there. But already in the past month, we had over close to 100 people who sat down and watched the entire video here, which is actually pretty amazing, again, for how YouTube works, and just kind of shows that what you guys you folks are talking about here in these meetings is resonating with people, and people want to hear it. So with that being said, we'll kick off today's meeting here. Again, this is the AI and Local Government meeting network meeting. Thank you all for being here. And as a reminder, these are our goals, and we put this out here every single meeting to get out of remind ourselves and center ourselves of why we're doing this, why we're part of this network. And the first step is to foster collaboration. We then want to share knowledge. You'll hear a lot of knowledge being shared from ClerkMinutes and their demo they're going to do with Inquisio. We have 2 folks from, one from Lebanon, New Hampshire, another one from Murray, Utah. We're going to be talking about how they're using AI in their local government. So a lot of knowledge to be shared there. And I really hope that by hearing this, hearing these 4 different individuals talk, we're going to spur some innovation within our communities, within our cities. That's the whole goal here of this network, is to come together, talk about how we're using AI, learn from each other, see some really great and cutting edge, game-changing tech that's out there from Inquisio, from ClerkMinutes, and then go on the rest of this month and learn how we could maybe apply this and look at Inquisio or ClerkMinutes and see maybe that's something we want to do with our city, with our organization. We find some value there. So I think you're going to really enjoy today's meeting. First up, we have Megan Myrick from ClerkMinutes, she is a specialist and part owner at HeyGov. And ClerkMinutes is this new tool that they've developed. It's a game-changing resource for local government. So, Megan, I want to welcome you to the AI and Local Government Network. If you want to give a brief intro of yourself, and then I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, my name's Megan Myrick. Again, I work for HeyGov, and we have developed a product called ClerkMinutes that's powered by AI, and I'll do a quick presentation about it in a minute, and then a demo about how you can start using it. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. He's barking for some reason. But I have been working for HeyGov for a little bit over 2 years now, since the beginning, and I kind of work on the sales side of things. And so if you do book a demo, you'll probably be talking to me. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen and get started. All right, give me 1 second to get everything oriented. All right, so jumbo shrimp, freezer burn, efficient government. These things are all oxymorons. The one that gets the most laughs is efficient government. You know, and I know that government doesn't run very efficiently. Again, my name is Megan Myrick, and I work for a company called HeyGov, and we develop software that helps government run more efficiently. Our newest piece of software, ClerkMinutes, is again powered by AI, and the goal is to help clerks finish their minutes in minutes. It's currently used regularly by over 30 city clerks in 5 different states. The problem that we're trying to solve is that after talking to many clerks over the years, we've learned that a big pain point is minutes. It takes them over 5 hours for every meeting between building the agenda, compiling the agenda packet, and just writing the minutes to get the process done, which is slow. It's not very efficient. And so our goal with ClerkMinutes is to reduce that to under 30 minutes. How it works is almost like magic. So all you have to do is upload your agenda, upload the recording of the meeting, and from there, our software is going to auto-transcribe the meeting recording, whether it's video or audio, and then it's going to summarize it using AI. And what separates our software from other pieces of software that might use AI to generate summaries or transcriptions is that ours is the first one that is built specifically for local government, which means that it's going to be an official format. It's going to be in the format that you need it to be in to post on your website and make it publicly available. It's going to have speaker names. It's going to show who made a motion and seconded it. And it's going to show whether the motion passed. And it's all built based on your agenda. So it'll have the same titles and subsections that was in your agenda. It's available to use right now completely for free. It's still in beta, so we're looking for people to test it. All we ask is for you to rate it and give us feedback on how it did transcribing or summarizing your minutes. You can try it at ClerkMinutes.com, and in a minute, I'll show you how it works. So after the meeting is over, you can try it out for yourself if you're interested. We had to do a lot of interviews while we've been perfecting our product. And one of the interviews that we did was with the clerk from the village of Lone Rock. Her name's Tammy. And she told us that if her village doesn't pay for ClerkMinutes, once we start charging for it, she'll pay for it herself because she finds it so useful. So useful. It took her, again, the 5+ hours before, and it just saves her so much time that she's willing to pay out of pocket for it if she has to. So again, while all of these things may seem like oxymorons, there's nothing moronic about trying to help local government run more efficiently. And with ClerkMinutes, we want to help you do that. We want to help you finish your minutes in minutes instead of over 5 hours. So really quick, I'm going to go into ClerkMinutes.com. I already have it pulled up. And I'll show you what to do once you're here. So you can try it out for yourself once the meeting's over with to see if it works for you. So once you go to ClerkMinutes, you'll see this page. And all you have to do is upload a PDF agenda. So let me go ahead and click on one. All right, and then an audio or video file, you just click here to upload it. So I think I have one saved from the town of Forestville. And once you do that, it's going to have to upload the recording, so it'll take a couple of minutes. It'll show you how many items were in your agenda, and you can choose the length that you want your minutes. So if you want them to be short, medium, or you want them long, we'll just make them long. And then you can choose the tone. So you can do official meeting, professional, you want to be enthusiastic. There's a bunch of different options here. We're just going to stay on the official meeting tone. And then once that video is done uploading, you'll be able to just click generate draft minutes. We'll give it a second to finish. And it'll ask you to put in your email to get the full version of your minutes. But once you do that, you're able to access the full version. And if you do decide to go on and sign up and continue beta testing, you'll have a dashboard that you can access that's going to have all of your minutes in it. And you can go in and view past minutes. You can view the recording. You'll also be able to view the transcript. Let me find one that has it finished. So you'll be able to go back and view the meeting recording, the transcript. If you want to assign speaker names, you can. So we see here it says speaker 3. We just click on that. And if it's somebody that we have already entered in before, it'll have their names in this drop-down list, or we can add a new speaker. So I can add myself as the speaker, and you'll go in and update anyone with that similar sounding voice or that speaker in with that same name. So you might want to go in and listen. You can just click on the little timestamp and it'll take it to you, make sure it's the same person. But it's pretty accurate from what I've seen. It'll show you a little timestamps of when each person talks, if you want a little breakdown. And you can also, again, you can download the transcript if you just want the transcript, or you could go into the actual summarized minutes. If you needed to make any edits, you're able to go in and make any edits. So if we wanted to add anything here, we can. It has a full text editor. So if you need to bold, italicize, underline anything, you're able to do that. If you just need to get it in the format that you need to be able to publish on your website. And then once you're done with everything, you are able to export this out at the bottom right-hand side. You can download the document, PDF, or Word. Well, let's see if the video still processing. Takes a minute. It says that it has like max 1 minute, so it shouldn't be too much longer. And once it does that, this button will just light up, letting us know that it's ready to generate the minutes, and then it'll start processing those.
Megan, real quick here, while we're waiting for the thing to process, I have a question here from Fani about how is the security maintained? Do you mind speaking to that at all?
Oh, I see. The security, it's all in a cloud-based server. It's secure. We have everything else on the same server in our HeyGov. So it's like we have licensing and payments and everything here. So it's stored in a secure cloud server. And we are working on later on, I think it's later on this year, where you can create a public page for people to be able to view the agendas and meeting minutes, but that isn't available yet. But once we do have that, you'll be able to publish it, and only that will be able to be viewed. Is there a particular format for the video file? I think MP4, MP3, and even just YouTube links work. It's a private cloud. I see, in other words, is the recording, how secure is the cloud? Is it public or private? It's private. How accurate is the software? I'm not sure. I don't have exact statistics on it. I am from the South, if you can't tell. I do have a slight Southern accent. And I will say that I have to change very few things. Like whenever I go in and I've uploaded recordings of me talking, the only thing I've had to change was me saying HeyGov, our company name. For some reason, it doesn't understand what I'm trying to say there. And that's the only thing I've had to change with my accent. But I don't have like exact statistics. Again, you're welcome to just upload a recording. It doesn't even have to be from a meeting, and just see how it does and see how accurate it is for you. And a copy of the presentation. If you're interested, I'm not sure if Micah could maybe give me your email and I can send it out to anybody who's interested, or I could just send him a copy and maybe he can send a follow-up email.
Yep, we'll get those out to everybody, the presentation here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me see if there's any other questions I missed. Once we receive the finished draft, yes, you can modify it. You do have to sign up for the account. You can download this one, I think, in PDF. Maybe you can download it in Word also. And so you can edit it from there. But if you do sign up for an account, again, completely free, you can edit it here in the dashboard. You can change any words. You can delete stuff, bold, italicize, pretty much anything you need to do. You can create links if you need to. All right, and this is finished. So once it's finished and the recording's ready, you just click generate draft minutes, and then you can actually watch them start writing the minutes. And again, to get the full minutes, like I said, you do have to put in it looks like your municipality name, your name, and your email, and then it'll email you the finished minutes. So we see it's starting to write the minutes. It's telling us that was called to order at 6:32. It has, if people introduce themselves, it will automatically fill in their names. If they don't introduce themselves, that's when you'll have to fill in the speaker names. So we can see here, speaker 1, that will need edited, but we'll have to get the downloaded version or sign up for a full HeyGov account. Like I said, it's completely free right now. So we can see here, it's started. We're kind of at the point where it's going to block us out. But you can see it has call to order, roll call, pledge of allegiance, verification of public notice, the agenda presentation, and then approval from the past meeting minutes, the treasurer's financial reports, and it has it broken down here, the cemetery accounts, how much the checking was, perpetual care, and savings. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. If anybody, let me see, was there questions I missed? Do you keep track of what who made changes in the transcript? I know we could. I haven't, let me see. I don't know if with the update we can. Maybe Dustin can answer that in chat because I'm not seeing a place here too. Let's see. Can you use this for a nonprofit? Yeah, you don't have to be a municipality to use it. Anybody can use it. It's just mostly made for local government, so it's going to do it in that format. All right, thank you guys. If anybody has any other questions that I wasn't able to answer, my email is on the screen. It's megan@heygov.com. Feel free to email me there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Well, thank you, Megan, and thank you, HeyGov. I know we have a couple folks on here in case you have any questions. Justin Overbeck is on here, as well as Nilek Poke is on here as well too. So if any questions for them, and of course here is the I'll give you the quickly show you the screen that we can see and connect with the folks over at HeyGov here. So thank you so much for giving this really insightful demo. This is a phenomenal tool. This is really cool. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, my pleasure. So again, if you have any questions for Megan, feel free to reach out to her. Here's the QR code for her LinkedIn page, as well as her LinkedIn link below. And that website that she was on was ClerkMinutes.com. So, and this will, again, all this stuff will be sent out to all of our members, even folks who won't necessarily are able to join today for various reasons. They'll get a copy of this as well too, so that way they can still take a look. And this is a phenomenal software. So thank you guys. So next up, we have Inquisio, and I want to welcome Josh Penner. Josh is the mayor of Orting, Washington, and co-founder and CEO of Inquisio. So Inquisio is pioneering a solution to revolutionize public records management and policy development for local governments across the U.S. The website there is Inquisio.AI. So Josh, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and take it away. Glad to have you on board here. And you might be still muted here, Josh.
There we go. How about now?
Perfect.
Usually it's my job to say you're still muted as the mayor, but no, I appreciate that. First off, Micah, if you need social proof that you're doing the right thing, just look at the number of people who are in this discussion right now. So you're doing a tremendous job. And I'm happy to have the ability to be here. And I'm happy that we met, I don't know, a couple months ago and started talking about this. And even in the couple months we've been talking about how to use AI in local government, we've seen, I think, a couple different evolutions of this technology. A good example is exactly what we just saw from Megan and the folks at HeyGov. Even if it is 70% accurate, that's 70% of 5 hours of work. That gets you a long way down the road towards a lot of value. And so I know I see that. For me, I get excited to be able to show it off to my clerk. And I hope that what I'm able to show today too, it demonstrates value for the people here. We are Inquisio, and our big goal is to help utilize AI to help in policy development, but really to focus on what we call the public records problem. And as a mayor, as somebody who's been elected for almost 13, 14 years. This is something I live with every day. It's something my staff lives with every day. It's something our team lives with every day. Most of us come from a public policy background, and we came together to solve these problems. That for me, 10% of my staff is dedicated to just managing documents in some form. So you're talking a couple clerks, and then clerks in the police side, clerks in the public works side, and folks whose job it is just to try to answer questions as they come in the door and to get quick, efficient answers out. And the challenge that we see is that when the public has a simple question, and we're not talking brain surgery here, what's the process to build a store? Can I build a fence? How many chickens can I own? Is it legal to have 5 dogs? Those sorts of questions. When they can't find a quick answer on your website, they may make a phone call, they may send an email, you may get back to them in a couple days. It quickly becomes a conflict-driven process to try to engage with the public. And that creates headache for everyone. And so as we're working to create tools to find the documents you're looking for, we know that the first thing we need to do is help municipalities like ours to deflect clear, simple questions. And let me show you an example of what I'm talking about, because I think that's going to speak better than anything. And all right, let's pick a city. The city of Othello in the middle of Washington State. If you're a citizen, put your mind in that of a citizen. And this is a website. It's a good website. There's a lot of websites that look like this, and we could pull up any other one. But if you want to know, what do you need? What do I need for a home construction permit? You're likely to find this on your own website. And I suggest you do it with your website right now. You go to your search bar and you're going to see police FAQ, street safety. You're not going to find the answers you're looking for. And if you're a citizen trying to find some basic questions, answers to basic questions, and the first place you go is to your city's website. And we've all invested a significant amount of time and effort into these websites and putting information online and trying to create FAQs to make it easy for people to find. We can't quickly find the answer to what we're looking for. And that's part of, I think, what drives the challenges with citizens, is that they can't find the answers they're looking for, and neither can we. So if we go back to our tool, Inquisio Lens, and let's go to Othello itself, ask the same question. I think it was, what do I need for a building permit? Now, if you went to ChatGPT and uploaded your whole municipal code, and you uploaded your planning documents and all your different documents, one, you'd run into probably a document limit in the tool that you utilized, but also a speed limit. And so what we do is our real innovation here is to be able to pull together thousands of documents within an organization and present to you a quick, effective, contextual answer within a half second. Some good other examples, you can ask kind of open-ended questions. And let's see if it takes into account the spelling and typing errors here. There you go. So you get an answer quickly within seconds that cites the housing action plan and gives you a citation. So and then you could pull up the document. A good example of maybe another city. This one was kind of fun. Is there you go. So it doesn't seem to be able to count very well, but that's, this is still a project that's in the works. And so as I'm demoing this, I think it's important to tell you that this isn't something that you can go buy right now. We're not selling it. We are working with specific municipalities right now to pilot this and to work through some of these kinks and to improve and perfect the user interface. And I think we've got one of them in here today, Liberty Lake. And the hope is that within 3-4 months, we're going to be able to have more people signing up for this, and we can even kick off the wait list today. But this is the first step in being able to engage people with the idea that you can ask questions, open-ended questions that you as a staff member at a city don't have to think about an FAQ and post it to your website. That all you need is a place for somebody to ask the question. They can come with the question they want. In fact, we can open it up to the chat too of folks. What sort of questions might somebody come to your city and ask you, or might go to your website and ask you? Any ideas? James says, is this embedded on our website or on our website? This right now in our beta testing is similar to how you might do your municipal code, where you would have it probably through a separate window. So you'd have a link on your website that would open up a separate window. Okay. How do I get a special event permit? So we'll try that. And what's important here is that data in, data out. There you go. So, and then it gives you citations that you can look up further. I think, there you go. So yeah, you get the citation comes from this part of the municipal code. Ooh, I don't know about what days does the trash get picked up, whether that's going to show up on here, but let's find out. I'm not sure that we have, the contract loaded in here. So what's important about our finding asks, does the tool have the ability to read a website or only documents? Right now, we can definitely scrape a public website, but I don't think that's the appropriate way to go about this. In fact, what we intend to do here is work with jurisdictions to give them the ability to upload specific documents that they want the public to access in the short term. And so the idea here, right, is that you may have, I think the average city across the US uploads a total of about 120 documents for the public to access. But of course, you have tens of thousands of documents. And the hope is that in time, as your minutes are generated, it gets fed into the system automatically. And as you have new meetings, a new agenda and new reports, it also gets fed into the system. And it just continues to build the context of the system that the public can access. And so scraping is one way to identify what's already been published, but the hope is that we go much deeper than what's already been published. This particular tool, so Ken asks, is this basically an in-house LLM except small? So LLM is definitely part of the technology at play here. When you summarize information that is pulled together, you're utilizing some LLM technology, but you have to get the context around the question. You have to have a search technology. You have to have a summarization technology. And so AI is definitely at play, but it's not the only technology being used. Some business owners would be interested in obtaining an occupation permit to operate a business from home. Can this help navigate it? It would depend on the information that exists within the city. Ideally, you probably have an area of municipal code that addresses home-based businesses. And so to the extent that you have an area of your code or your comprehensive plan that addresses that question, you're likely to get a response that reflects that question. As we work with our pilot partners on this, we're able to see the questions that come in and the answers that are produced, and getting more perfect answers as those come in. I mean, that's part of our ongoing weekly cadence, is to get the questions, look at the answers, make sure the answers are answering the questions. And if they're not, then we work with our tool to help continue to perfect it for that deployment. All right. Have you considered the risks of prompt injection if it's a publicly facing model? So yes, absolutely, Sam. Great question. In fact, as I was giving a discussion with Washington IT managers, the IT manager from the city of Tacoma, Washington, brought that up, is could you reverse engineer privileged information, even if it's deleted from the record? And I don't think anyone has an answer to that. But right now, we know that privileged documents are not what you want to feed into this at this point. So pending litigation, things with social security numbers, stay away from those. As far as prompt injection or other hacking, the idea is you're providing publicly faced documents. Like, these are public records that the public has a right to access anyway. So we would work with our partners to make sure that we're not capturing privileged information that shouldn't be exposed to the world. That's our hope anyway. Great question though. So I know I'm missing questions as they come in. So the ethics of data scraping and more about how that would work. When I said that we could do data scraping of websites, but we don't want to, that really kind of goes to the ethics of it, is that every time your website's loaded, right, there's some fractional cost to your city. And it probably is just captured in a general contract that you have each year for $10,000 or something like that. But if you've got tens of thousands of different LLMs constantly scraping your website for information that they're going to go monetize, then you're running into a situation where you're kind of providing the information for the world that you're providing it for free as a city. We foresee a time where your way to interact with your city's website looks more like this than it looks like your website right now. And there's a paradox there in that you'll be able to have better, quicker access to the information as a citizen. You'd have or a citizen or a staff member, you have better, quicker access to the information of your city than you otherwise would in a traditional website. At the same time, data scrapers will have a much more difficult time getting information because they would have to go through this query and answer session. And so to me, I think that the idea that data scraping is going to solve the problem of Q&A is just short term. Long term, it really is about finding the right partner that you want to provide information to and partner with presenting your information to the world. But really good question, Doctor. So I can provide you guys links too, and you can play around with it. I'll drop them in the chat here after we're done with the discussion. Let me share a different screen real quick and not take over this whole meeting. So again, we are working with a number of different jurisdictions right now on piloting this particular piece of our technology. And this is just the citizen and staff interface for questions and answers against known documents. But coming up next, we are also looking for early adopters and the next series of free pilots. So when we say a pilot, our pilot agenda is, we work with an agency for 3 months. We develop a whole project plan. And for us, we're building out a different feature that is valuable. For consideration, you get access to our tools for a certain period of time. And our product development timeline right now, of course, we've got the question and answer against documents that are perfectly identified coming up soon. File retrieval. So instead of just saying what documents are related to building a deck, or not that, but like what's our population, you can say, I want every document related to sidewalks in the last 3 years, and you get file retrieval using the same context as your Q&A. And then let's see, if you're interested in joining our waitlist or being a pilot for our next solution, here's a QR code that takes you directly to one of our forms. And you can schedule a meeting with me directly there. And then Micah, you've been tremendous. Like if you're just going to share our contact information, that works too. Feel free to reach out to me. The idea here is that we are government people trying to solve problems that government has. And, we've been embedded in the technology space in the West Coast. And it's amazing to me how much we have to scream from the rafters to all these technology people. These problems really exist. And you guys don't know about it because you don't live in cities, or you don't live the city life. You don't know how city organizations work. We need something that's built for cities and counties and school districts and things like that, not something that's built for a Fortune 500 company. And so it's been a really fun experience as a mayor, but also building out this technology and getting to know folks like you that have tremendous questions. So thanks, Micah. Back to you, or I can answer any questions that may have been brought up that I missed.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you taking the time to show us Inquisio. And just like the same way as we did with ClerkMinutes, we will also be sending the information out to the folks here on the call and those who aren't able to join in and talking more about ClerkMinutes. So super excited for this. Let me share this. That way you know how to contact Josh and Inquisio here. So again, thank you, Josh. If you have any questions for Josh, want to connect with him, That website again is Inquisio.AI. Connect with Josh on LinkedIn as well too. The QR code or the LinkedIn, his LinkedIn below. And again, all of this information will be out to our AI and local government attendees here and members. So thank you, Inquisio, for taking the time to do this. So next up, we have an exciting individual. Brooke Smith is the city recorder in Murray, Utah. Brooke has been working in the public sector since 2004 and has a substantial amount of knowledge and expertise that she adds to the emerging domain of AI in local government. So I want to welcome Brooke to the network, and Brooke, take things away.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to share my screen really quick. Make sure that's the right one. Okay, so I do have a couple things that I'm just going to go over and how I've implemented AI in local government. One is going to be like a city code analysis. I'm going to briefly talk on meeting minutes, but HeyGov really hit that on the nail on the head. So I might glance over that, and then I'm going to talk about RFP and purchasing and some of the election stuff that I've had to deal with here for our city. The first thing I wanted to highlight is the last the last like 3 years, our employees have been saying, you know what, hey, our procurement matrix thresholds aren't supporting our needs, our business needs anymore. With the cost of inflation and the cost of construction products, our 41-page city code, we broke it down into a 1-page like snapshot of how to purchase things, and they were just begging me to make some changes for it. So I went and did some history, and I pulled up the ordinances that had changed the city code, and I asked AI, I used Claude, I asked AI to give me a summary of the changes that were made, and Claude spit out this beautiful little summary. I didn't have to change it at all. I went and verified that the information was correct, but it was so nice to put those huge ordinances in and then get it to summarize it really quickly for me. I then took that information and put it into ChatGPT and Claude. I was playing back and forth between both of them and asked it to help me write out a presentation to give to my city council. I had it give me a goal that I worked on, and then it gave me some ideas of things that I could talk to my stakeholders about in making the change and why it was important for that change. And then I was able to go forward and make a presentation using Canva. I had a redline version of our procurement matrix, was able to explain it fluidly with our city council members and be able to successfully make that change for our city and for our city employees. I do have a copy of that video if you want to watch that. It's hyperlinked in this presentation, and then also the slide deck that I presented to our city council. So if you're an agency that has a smaller threshold and your employees are saying, hey, I don't have the same buying power I had 3 years ago pre-COVID, this is a great tool that you could mirror if you wanted to use it for your agency. The second thing I wanted to talk to you is about city council meeting minutes. HeyGov is like my new favorite app that I'm going to ever use. That takes a lot of the legwork out that I've been doing for the past year. I've been using this technique since December. But basically, I get a transcription of the meeting minutes in Otter.ai. I have to edit that transcription a little bit, and then I ask AI to summarize that, and I throw that in the meeting minutes. So what that looks like is here's Otter.ai's interface. I started recording. I did a recording of our last presentation, and Nolan presented, and this is a recording of what he said. I do like the feature that you can highlight information, and then also over here, you can see I took a screenshot of a different meeting, and I was able to add that into it. So it was really user-friendly and a lot of information in there. I then take that transcript, I put it into AI, either ChatGPT or Claude, and this is my prompt that I give it, and just say, act like a city recorder. I'm gonna give you transcripts, summarize it, and then make sure it's accurately reflects what happens in that meeting. So this little thumbnail is what the transcript was, and then this is the summary of what happened. And I'm able to successfully put that into my meeting minutes, which is super convenient because like HeyGov said, theirs is probably way quicker. Mine's a lot of manual back and forth between everything. But it does take that 5-hour meeting minute review down to however long the meeting is, and it makes it a little bit faster. So, but I'm going to use HeyGov for sure the next time I have to do meeting minutes. The third thing I wanted to highlight really quick is how I've been using it for purchasing. I'm big in the purchasing world here in Utah. I'm a past president of the Utah chapter. I'm on the national board, a couple of national boards through NIGP. And one of the things we had, and what I'm training other purchasing agents is using AI for RFPs and bids. And the scenario I have here is we just moved to a new city hall about 6 months ago. This is our beautiful new building. I had a purchasing agent that is underneath me that I supervise, and she was in a serious car accident and was out of work for 2 months. We were moving into this new building. I was the project lead for that move. And my mayor's office came down and said, hey, we've got this beautiful new plaza. We want to put a huge Christmas tree in here. Can we write an RFP? And after I cried a little because I was so stressed out, I didn't cry, but I took my computer home that night. I got on AI and I first Googled how like an RFP for a 70-foot Christmas tree, and there is none written. So I then took it to AI and I worked for about 3 hours going back and forth, building out a chat, writing an RFP proposal. I edited and fine-tuned it. We took it back to my administrative staff the next day, fine-tuned it again. I was able to build things out like our evaluation and scoring, the total cost estimates, the dates and closing. It gave me all of these great things that I could use to put into my RFP. And the final result is this beautiful 70-foot tree. We did have a short deadline for that thing. We had to write the RFP, post it, find a person and sign a contract with in less than 4 weeks, less than a month. So without that hitting those deadlines, this tree wouldn't have been there this last winter, and we would have to wait a whole nother cycle before we got it. But because of AI, I was able to create that and publish it really quick. Another thing really quick is just the prompt engineering that I teach Utah procurement people. This is just a basic one if they want to start practicing on it, if you want to take a screenshot of that. And then I also tell them, you know what, we have a lot of cookie cutter RFPs or bids that we put out there. And what I recommend they do is take that scope of work, put it in AI, and see if you have any gaps in coverage or anything that's missing with those cookie cutter RFPs, and really fine tune and make your RFP better. And then another one is, as I hate addendums to RFPs, I know that sometimes they have to happen, but if we could take our RFP before we publish it, especially if it's one that's not been published before, run it through and have it do an analysis and see if we have any gaps in coverages, we close that gap of making those changes later on and making it more clear to our prospective vendors and suppliers what we're looking for. And then the last thing, just really quick, I want to touch on, I am the election officer for Murray City. And for the last 2 years, I've been running the election and talking to the people that are running for council. And I inherited a candidate guide. And the candidate guide was pretty boring. It was very just matter of fact. And so I asked AI, I put that in, made some changes and asked AI to write me a new candidate guide, really giving me some fresh words and new insight, and basically giving support to our council members that are running, and just to remind them that it's not about winning or losing, but it's engaging the community. So I really liked how AI made it more human and giving that information to the candidates. And then also at the very end, I emailed our candidates all the time and asked AI to say, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to tell our candidates. Help me say that. But at the very end, I gave them a congratulations and thank you for running. And then just appreciated them going through and again, reminding them, hey, it's like the outcome may have not been what you expected or anticipated, but we recognize and see you. And I think that gives a good fitting for people that are running for office and putting themselves out there. And so with that, that is my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat, but those are the ways that I've implemented AI, and I just love using it and testing it out and getting that information out there.
Well, thank you, Brooke. This is really, really fascinating what you're doing here in Murray, Utah. Especially the RFP process, right? That's such a technical and such a time-consuming process. It is something similar here in Maricopa with RFPs, where when you start using the AI, and really cool example too of the Christmas tree. I gotta ask, did you guys get a Christmas tree? Was it a successful one? What was the outcome of
Yeah.
that effort there?
Yeah, that picture, the last picture with the picture of the Christmas tree, that was our plaza tree that we got.
Oh, perfect. That's
So
cool. That's
it
really
was
cool.
it was beautiful, and it was a shining like spotlight for our city, and you could see it from the freeway. It's gorgeous. It's the talk of the town, and it's all animated with music. It's beautiful.
That is incredible. That's so cool. Thanks for showing that and that demonstration there. Really, really helpful. And if you have any questions about using AI, and especially from the city recorder side of things, let me share with you Brooke's contact information here. Let's next slide down. Here we go. So if you have any questions for Brooke on how to craft these RFPs, even ones for Christmas trees, or the stuff you did too with making the candidate election guide a little more really, I liked what one of the folks in the chat said, how ironic that AI made something more human, right? But that's what you can do with these tools, right? Is make these things more understandable, more worthwhile to our constituents, our residents, our community. So if you have any questions for that, please reach out to Brooke on LinkedIn. She's going to be a phenomenal resource for everyone here. Connect with her, pick her brain. She's got a wealth of information to add, not only on the AI side of things, but I'm sure on all her many years in the government space and in city recording and purchasing and things like that. So please connect with her, and thank you, Brooke, for doing that. Let me make sure there's no other questions here from the group. I don't see any on the top here, but if you have any questions, reach out to her directly, and I'm sure she'll be more than willing to do that and share the information with you guys. So next up, we have Melanie McDonough. Melanie is the Chief Innovation Officer in Lebanon, New Hampshire. So she comes in with 13 plus years of experience and offers extensive expertise in web content, communication, and change management, which is extremely beneficial for cities exploring AI use. So I want to welcome Melanie and hear about how the city of Lebanon, New Hampshire is utilizing AI. Welcome, Melanie.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Do I have that control? There we go. And all right. So I'm going to cruise through. I have a presentation. It might be longer than we have time for. So I'm just going to kind of jump right in. But Lebanon is actually adopting AI at a pretty quick pace. And so I'm going to skip over all of this, but I am the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of Lebanon, so I spend a lot of time doing this kind of work. We recently just published our AI policy for the city. This has really allowed us to be more transparent about what we're doing, let the public know what we're doing, but internally it has also kind of calmed people down to in staff, they're not sure, are we allowed to use AI? Are we not allowed to use AI? How do we use AI? What are the rules around it? So that's part of the reason that we wanted to get our policy out there. And you can look at it at any time on our website. It's lebanon.gov/AI. We're trying to work very openly, so you can go ahead and take a look at it. When you do, you'll notice it's not finished. It's definitely some parts are under development. That's why we have the Technology Review Committee who will continue working on that to keep pace with the times. But we wanted to get that out there as our baseline so that we can move forward to the more important parts about training our staff. So I think Micah can agree with that really the really important part is that people learn how to use AI so that it works for them and brings value. Part of that, we do have an AI registry, and you'd be able to look at that. It's, again, all just under development right now. I will put a link here into the chat after this so you can have the slide deck, and I think Michael will be sending it out. But these are some of the areas where we do use AI. One of the new ones, Review.AI. If you're into planning, this is really interesting. We're actually getting ready to launch that this coming week. And that's where it allows you to submit your site plans that you get from applicants on buildings and trains it all against your own data, your building regulations, and sends back a full report and markups based on your building regulations to the reviewers so that they can then work with it and tweak it and decide it's an efficiency tool. So if you're into that, I would definitely recommend that. I'm going to move on. Have been playing with custom GPTs. So custom GPTs are available through OpenAI, and they allow you to train your data really narrowly. So it's not the World Wide Web, it's really the documents that you give to it. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to remember names 100%, but someone was saying there is a limitation. You can't give it all the documents. I think there's like 20 documents you can give it to train on the specific set of data. But we're playing around with that for internal helpers. So one that we have right now is a policy helper. What's interesting here is that we can give it our template, it actually produces, and then we can start writing our policies, and it will produce policies based on our own templates that we have internally. We have another one for zoning ordinance. Our ordinance is like 300 pages. It's really hard to find what you want to find inside of there. So we had a scenario as an example where our city manager was looking for flagpole information in the city. And then when I was showing them, he said, well, show me flagpole information. So within, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, we'd have flagpole information. He said, I just spent over an hour looking for that information in our own documents. So internally, it can be a really nice tool. These aren't available to the public yet, but I've been playing around with lots of different options, ones to help people better understand the budget and how it affects them, helping us build things inside, even for me, just trying to help build our AI policies and work on those. We do use it quite a bit right now for policy writing and revision. We have a lot of policies that do need to have revisions. And one of the things I would recommend trying is if you give it your policy and ask it to create an FAQ, it's doing a really great job of creating FAQs for policies that allow people to interact. So we just had one that's a mobile device management policy. It's pretty technical. There's a lot of questions from all our staff members on what that actually means for them. And so we were able to put this in there. It generated a whole bunch of questions right off the bat that were right on target with the policy and in plain language, and really help clarify what the policy is. So when you tell staff, go read your policy, they can kind of read some frequently asked questions and get a better idea about what that policy is. And then another place that we're going is looking at it for flowchart creation. So if you think about like a tree policy, when can you cut a tree down? If it's in the public right away, you have to notify city council, you have to notify abutters, you have to do all these different things. And it's able to kind of look at the policy and build a flowchart. So that gives you a nice visual about, okay, when the tree is here and it's this size, you're going to follow the little flowchart down, which makes it a lot easier than trying to decipher all that text inside of a policy. Moving on. One of the places that I really like it is for technical assistance. It really gives you a boost. So we don't have a web developer in-house. We do have things that the public asks for. One of those was a permit fee calculator. So they just want to be able to type in how much their project's going to be and find out what is the cost of that. And it's just, an equation. And so with ChatGPT, I was able to put that information into ChatGPT, and it actually wrote the code that I was then able to embed into our website. And so now the public has a calculator, where before I have enough technical expertise to really make a mess, but not enough to really land the project. So ChatGPT just kind of helped me get over that hump there. And I've also found it's very useful trying to make API integrations, helps with AWS really well. Anything that's very documented in the tech world. Just gonna keep cruising. I don't want to take us over. Like everyone else, well, in my mind, everyone else, people that are using it in local government for communication, we do the same things. It's really helped our public alerts get much better, much more informed. A lot of times public alerts are coming from, people working in the field. They're happening really fast, and ChatGPT or any, AI service really helps them to just kind of make the alert a lot more coherent to the public. But one really interesting area is if you're doing any video work in your city, it does a really great job at writing video scripts. And so our fire chief was tasked by the city manager to create a video on the new fire department that they wanted to make sure they got budgeted for and build out. And the fire chief really doesn't have that skill set, so he's kind of freaked out. And we went to ChatGPT. We told it how long we wanted the video. We told it what the context was, some specifics, and then let it go. And it actually put all the timestamps in. It even gave the videographers really, pan in on the, it told them what kind of camera shot to do in certain areas. So when we worked with the video production company, they were really happy. They had a whole script. They knew what was coming. It actually told them where the stamps were, what we were looking for, and it turned out really good. So that was an interesting use, as well as quizzes and surveys. Also presentations. So this whole presentation, I did use a form of AI. Data analysis. I'm just going to say I've used it for phone logs, having departments record their phone logs so that we could analyze how to improve services in their office, so that people don't have to call in as much about things that we should be able to provide to them on our website. It does a really good job. We don't really have time to go in. I really want to just kind of take a step back here and just show you so you can explore after the fact. This is not a PowerPoint. This is a presentation built in Miro. And if you're looking for some really strong tools for flowcharts, for data analysis, for mind mapping, for interactive, collaborative, if you do lean events, if you're doing any kind of brainstorming with groups, I really recommend Miro, and look for this blue button. It really can do a lot. So basically, just really fast, to build this presentation, I actually came in here and said, these are all my ideas. I kind of wrote out what I wanted, and then I highlighted it, and then I hit the blue button, and it says, do you want to make a presentation? Yes, I told it I want 10 slides, and from that, it'll just build out a whole 10-slide deck for you based on that information. So Miro.com is free up to a certain point. You can check that out. But I know we're limited on time, so I am going to just pop over here. You can kind of see me moving around this area. Share this area. I'm kind of slow at this part. When I get out of my presentation, I'm slower, but we'll just present up here. And that's my contact information. So I'm just gonna stop sharing and see if there's question and answers. I'm not good at multitasking that way. And let Micah take it back over. I know we have a time crunch here.
Oh, thank you, Melody. This is phenomenal what you're able to do there. That Miro thing looks really incredible too. But just in terms of the different ways that you're using AI and using, what I'm really fascinated by is that you're using tools beyond just ChatGPT, right? And I think that's one of the things that really resonates here, is there's so much out there beyond the typical ChatGPT and Claudes. And those are phenomenal tools. Those are ones I use on a almost daily basis myself. But it's so good to see and be introduced to these other tools out there that we could start using and leveraging as well too for local governments. So thank you for doing that. I'll get a copy of your presentation, your Melanie, and then I know you had some hyperlinks in there too that I want people to try to play around with as well and explore on their own and spur the innovation. If you're okay with that, we'll send that presentation out to folks here as well, and they can kind of go in there and see, as well as with the things you're doing too with, I know City of Lebanon just had an AI policy, and what you're doing with that too. I think a lot of our members would definitely would learn a lot from you in that regard. So thank you so much for taking some time here today and talking through what you're doing. If you have any questions about Melanie's work in the City of Lebanon, here is Melanie's contact with LinkedIn. So reach out to Melanie, a phenomenal resource. You're definitely going to pick that brain there. So please do so. Please reach out to Melanie, and I think you will not be disappointed with all the wealth of information and knowledge that Melody brings to the table here. So thank you so much. And again, thank you to Brooke as well for presenting today. Thank you to our sponsors, Inquisio and ClerkMinutes, to Josh and Megan for presenting. For the future, if you would like to present and share your insights and how you're using AI in local government, love to have you share your thoughts and share your lessons learned and what you're doing with it. This QR code is a sign-up form for that, or you can use the link below as well too. Again, if there's interest, if you're a company looking to sponsor and to share your game-changing tech with the group here, please use this QR code here. And I won't tell you it's too long on this slide, but different sponsorship opportunities we have here as well. So again, moving forward, our next meeting is on the next working Monday of, I think we're Monday, February 5th. All times are Phoenix, Arizona local time. So here's the meeting schedule. If you want to sign up, if you're not already registered for those ones, please use that QR code and send it out too. Let's add more people to that. Really appreciate all the work people are doing behind the scenes and making this possible. So any questions for me? If you want to get connected, reach out. Feel free to reach out. Like I said before, this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. So if you have any questions or want to watch the meeting after the fact, I normally spend a couple minutes taking the video, making sure it's has all the different captions. That way you can go through, and if you have a question like, what was that part about how Melanie made that really cool presentation on Miro? What was that again? It'll be linked there. And the same thing too, like, what was that thing that Brooke was talking about, the RFP for a Christmas tree? How do I do that? So we'll have that all linked up there. Again, thank you so much for attending. Thank you for spending an hour here with us today. Appreciate that. And a special thank you to our sponsors, Inquisio and ClerkMinutes. We'll send out resources and information on these two phenomenal companies out to the group here. If you have any questions for them, feel free to reach out to Josh and to Megan. And I think that's it for today. So thank you so much for attending. Take care and enjoy the rest of your month.